Welcome to another edition of Timeless Sports. My name is Aaron Brady. Thanks for joining us here in our Victory Place studio in Dallas. So, you have sports cities that are really well known. You got Boston, New York, LA, lots of really well known sports cities. But when you look at a single individual year, which city had the most to celebrate for all the sports teams across the board for only 1 year? We're going to look into that today. But first, let's meet our Timeless Sports team. We got Kyle Stark.
So what's up?
Ronnie Gallant, the Ron Dog.
What up, what up?
Parker Smith.
Let's get it, boys.
All right, so Ronnie's going to kick this one off. Ronnie, who do you have? Who had the most to celebrate for a single year of any city in the U.S.?
This may come as a surprise to all that view this video, but it was actually this previous year in Boston. If the Bruins would have won the Stanley Cup, it would have been the first time since 1935 that a city had 3 teams win the championship. Now we all know the St. Louis Blues, which that was like a double stab to the heart because the Blues beat the Stars in 7. A little blurb on the Stars. I've never seen a goalie play as well as Ben Bishop did that day.
Stood on his head.
Yeah. Then they beat the Bruins in 7 games, so that's double stab. But the Red Sox won the World Series in 2018. The Patriots won the Super Bowl, which boring. We won though. Then Liverpool, little shout to soccer, the Fenway Sports Group. They are the Champions League final champions. Like I said, the Bruins win the Stanley Cup, and the Celtics, meh. So I think this previous year for Boston has been pretty special.
Yeah.
I'd have to say.
Yeah, Boston's had a pretty insane last year.
I just couldn't believe that. There was a billboard that someone posted on a Boston page I follow that it's like, we're suffering here in Boston. It's been like 200 days since our team won a championship. What other city can say that?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
They've had a pretty storied history, but then this past year has just been crazy for them.
Yeah.
A lot of good teams.
But I like how you skipped over the Celtics pretty quickly. I mean,
Yeah, Kyrie, that whole thing. We signed Gordon Hayward for an absurd amount of money. He averaged like 11 points a game. It was rough. We have 17 banners though, so that's cool, right? Celtics go to.
They had every opportunity to be good this year. They just couldn't. They had a lot of good pieces, just not the right pieces to the puzzle, So, but that would have been crazy if the Celtics would have made a run on top of all that.
Bruins just winning Game 7.
Those St. Louis Blues.
I know. Screw St. Louis. Talking to you, Dom.
Stark, who do you have?
For me, when I look at this, when I read what is the biggest year that a city has ever had? What has meant the most to them? How important of a year? How changing, sports-wise, what 1 year changed the culture of a community? I think of 2016 in Cleveland, okay?
Cleveland!
Cleveland.
Oh my gosh!
It had been 52 years since there had been a major sports championship won in the city of Cleveland. Okay?
It'll probably be another 52 from
It may be. That makes it even more powerful how important this 1 year was to that city. Okay? They go 52 years, a huge drought. Okay? And they have a great season. Could still overshowered by how the amazing Warriors were. Best regular season ever.
That's right.
And then it builds up, and then they're down 3-1, and nobody's ever come back 3-1. So the emotions, everybody's high and low. Just the fact that this team came back down 3-1, best team probably ever assembled, and won an NBA championship. To break a 52-year drought for the city, just think about what year in sports meant more to a city than any other year, right? I mean, think about what that did to the community. Having LeBron, the homegrown kid, come in there and win a championship for the city that hasn't had one in over 50 years.
Yeah.
Amazing year for that city just by having the one championship. So that's my pick.
Based on that logic, you could say 2004 in Boston. The Red Sox broke the curse.
Yeah.
The Patriots won the Super Bowl again,
Yeah. Again.
It's just, I think Boston's going to keep coming up, but that's fine.
Was that the Patriots' first Super Bowl?
It was not.
No.
2001.
Greatest show on turf, right? They took on Warner and Isaac Bruce and
Marshall Faulk.
Just think of it for Cleveland fans, people that grew
That's
up
true.
there.
I mean,
You
it's
talk
true.
about like see people on TV like Mike Golick and stuff like that. They're diehard Cleveland fans.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, okay, how'd the Browns do that year for them?
Having an NBA championship erases that.
No, I think they would have won 16 then.
That erases that. That transforms the sports in that area. You talk about what it does for the economy and everything, having that sports team there and winning a championship. I mean, that transformed the city.
I'm sorry. They were gifted that by the Warriors on an epic, colossal defeat, and it's because the ref and the NBA out of their mind let Draymond Green be suspended.
They were gifted.
So I mean, yeah, they did great. I could beat a team that like you take one of their best players out. Oh yeah, I definitely think they would win this championship.
So you take out Draymond and KD and
That's what led to afterwards
Steph
next year.
and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Iguodala
Yeah.
and-
I know exactly.
I mean,
it's an interesting pick. I was not going down that route. You have a good position and argument to back up your point. It's very valid. But just there are so many other years for cities like mine that had multiple championships.
but again, they have them all the time and it's great. But what's the most meaningful to a single city is one that hasn't had one in over 50
I agree.
years.
If the debate were most meaningful, you may very well win. But it's not meaningful.
Here because they actually had success in a championship.
What about
Okay.
What about when the Cubs won their championship, Chicago Cubs in baseball? How many years had it been?
Oh, jeez.
100. Over 100 years.
Yeah.
Come on.
City of
Tell me-
Chicago-
you're
no,
telling
no,
me-
but that's a different argument. This is a sports as a whole. We're not talking about just baseball. This is the city of Chicago had seen success.
You base it off of
Basketball.
The Bulls, they could see Chicago fans could ride the Bulls, right? They could say, "Hey, I'm a Bulls fan. At least we get success in that."
Cleveland has nothing.
Fans do that when there's one good team in a city. They can say, "Well, at least I have this team." You know, there was nothing good in Cleveland for over 50 years, and then they finally get one. They finally win a championship. That's the greatest year for that city in sports.
I've got 1969 New York, New York. Amazing year for that city. Here's why. The 1969, they're not called the Mets. They are called the 1969 Miracle Mets. Why are they called the Miracle Mets? Well, let's find out. Middle of August of that year, they were 9.5 games back of the Cubs. To rewind the clock, at that time there were 10 teams in the National League. The Mets never finished in 8th place or higher. They always finished in 9th or 10th place before 69 out of 10 teams. So this year, at 69, they're doing really bad. They're like under 500 most of the season, and all of a sudden they go on an absolute tear. They're 9.5 games back, middle of August. Get this. They go their last 49 games of the year, they win 38. They lose 11 games, and that's it for those last 49. They end up surpassing Chicago, getting the playoffs. They end up beating everybody in the playoffs and get to the Baltimore Orioles. And they take down the Orioles and win the World Series. They had guys, Nolan Ryan was on that team, Tom Seaver was on that team, Cleon Jones is on that team, Jerry Kuzman. They just up and down, pitching, hitting, fielding, had a phenomenal team. And they were a team that wasn't supposed to do anything, that just won an absolute tear in the summer and ended up making a playoff run and winning the World Series. Also, the Jets won the '69 Super Bowl, led by Joe Namath, Broadway Joe. Joe Namath. What's cool about that year is they had a good regular season, and then it came down to the Super Bowl. I think they played the Baltimore Colts, and before that game, Joe Namath guaranteed a victory. He literally guaranteed it, and sure enough, Joe Namath, Broadway Joe, delivers a Super Bowl to New York, and the Jets fans. So you had that going on. Now also the Knicks were very competitive. In 1969-70, the New York Knicks won the NBA Finals, led by Walt Frazier, Dave DeBusschere, Phil Jackson was on that team, Bill Bradley, and Willis Reed. I mean, just an awesome roster. And so that 69-70 time for the Knicks, Mets, and Jets were just phenomenal.
Okay, mine was just easiest. Like, I went off pure statistical data to have my answer.
For which sports? Which sports did you include?
And so mine is the 2002 City of Los Angeles. And the reason is because they had 4 professional teams win championships that year. 4.
What sports?
So you had the Los Angeles Lakers, and so of course you have Kobe and Shaq and their golden run, which is absolutely incredible towards the end of it. And then you have the Los Angeles Angels, who won the World Series in that.
Keep going.
And then you get two other ones that often are looked down upon. You have the LA Galaxy, professional soccer. They win their championship as well.
MLS soccer.
So MLS soccer, okay?
Whoop-de-doo.
Okay, I know, but we're talking about greatest single year, winning 4 championships in 1 year.
What's the fourth one?
And the fourth one is the WNBA Los Angeles Sparks.
Oh my God!
So
Can't count.
it has to count.
Soccer MLS was bad, but the Sparks, that's a whole other level.
I mean, those leagues are bad now. Just think of what they were in 2002.
Now they did. Now did that team have Lisa Leslie on it? I think they may have had Lisa Leslie.
Yes.
You know how I know that? I think was Backyard Basketball, the computer game. I think it had Lisa Leslie on the game.
So WNBA, it is a real professional sport, same as soccer. Okay, they're not as popular as the big 3 or 4 if you count hockey in there as well. But just to say that a city had 4 championships all in 1 year, not 2001 to 2002, not 2002 to 2003, all in the year of 2002.
Do they even have parades for MLS and WNBA?
They go down Broadway. They make a movie out of these things. Calling it right now, 2020 documentary, Los Angeles 2002.
But Amazon Prime Video, because Netflix not there.
I don't know, man. I mean, granted, the Angels and Lakers, 2 great teams of that era, but geez, man, that's a stretch.
He talks about Liverpool.
Yeah, that's a huge club. The LA Galaxy is only known in LA, or I guess here in the United States.
WNBA also is growing, going for equal rights. Forget the haters. Championship's a championship. If we're going to count the Patriots thing this year as a championship, we should be able to count all the other championships as well.
The 2002 WNBA championship, it's a 3-game, it's a best of 3.
So is the College World Series. What kind of World Series is that?
No, it's, you get the 8 teams, you play double elimination, and then you get Baseball series is 3 games. A basketball playoff is
So in the World Series, is that usually a 3-game series?
No, a series in baseball is 3 games, 3-4 games until you get to playoffs.
Then the World Series is just, I mean, it's a hoax, really.
It's a whole other thing.
It's a whole nother thing. I mean, they're just doing it wrong. Same kind of argument, okay? So if you're going to say the WNBA is terrible, then you have to say that College World Series is terrible as well.
I don't even know what it was in 2002.
So just concluding this debate, let us know who you think was right. So join the debate, like and subscribe.